You're in serious trouble, black folk, not only in Selma, but all over America and all over the world, because the world is in trouble. Your biggest enemy is not the white man. Your biggest enemy is your ignorance of the white man. Fear and ignorance is your number one enemy. Get the lockdown. 1,600,000 in prisons. In the greatest nation on earth, she has the most prisoners of any country on the earth. Why is that?
Come on, minister, come on. Come on, minister.
A nation that gives her people the greatest opportunity of any nation on earth. But she's the biggest consumer of alcohol and drugs of any nation on earth. Why is that?
Preach, minister, you preach.
A nation that has the best road system, the best transportation system, the best governmental system. This nation, above all the nations of the earth, has the best almost of everything. But she leads the world in crime and violence and murder and mayhem and debauchery and sin. Why, God, would you send down a decree of death on the United States of America? You better listen, because after I finish and leave, God is going to answer every word that I say here in Selma and in Alabama. Watch the weather and see.
America is the greatest nation on this earth and the greatest nation in the last 6,000 years. But America and her people, which includes you, face divine destruction. The question is, can she avert it?
America is surrounded with the judgment of God. Climate control is very important in the context of war. But there's no space on this earth that has received as much calamity from weather as the United States of America. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, and the Holy Quran bears witness, that Allah would curtail this place on its sides. He said he wouldn't buy nothing on either coast. Because the coasts are going to be flooded. You heard it first here. Now watch the news. Bear witness that a messenger from God, a man taught by God, is telling you things that are and things to come.
Now, Minister Louis Farrakhan, a man that is hated and loved on equal measure, in this lecture isn't just speaking, but he's trying to fire a warning, or sounding an alarm, not just to America, but also to Black America as well. And the message cuts in two directions here. One side faces a nation that is being told to face and confront its history, its past. And on the other side are people that are being told to confront themselves, to look inwards, to introspect and see the divisions amongst them, and be wary of who is causing the division and who is benefiting from these divisions. So basically, from these lectures by Louis Farrakhan, the message is double-edged to America, that America cannot outrun accountability, from its past or from its history, and it cannot erase it. And to Black Americans, that you cannot afford disunity at this moment in time. Let's continue to listen in, and I'll be back with some more good analysis of this.
You're in serious trouble, black folk, not only in Selma, but all over America and all over the world, because the world is in trouble. Your biggest enemy is not the white man. Your biggest enemy is your ignorance of the white man. Fear and ignorance is your number one enemy. Get the lockdown. 1,600,000 in prisons. In the greatest nation on earth, she has the most prisoners of any country on the earth. Why is that?
Come on, minister, come on. Come on, minister.
A nation that gives her people the greatest opportunity of any nation on earth. But she's the biggest consumer of alcohol and drugs of any nation on earth. Why is that?
Preach, minister, preach.
A nation that has the best road system, the best transportation system, the best governmental system. This nation, above all the nations of the earth, has the best almost of everything. But she leads the world in crime and violence and murder and mayhem and debauchery and sin. Why, God, would you send down a decree of death on the United States of America? You better listen, because after I finish and leave, God is going to answer every word that I say here in Selma and in Alabama. Watch the weather and see. He's sick of you and your foolishness. And he's sure sick of the government and white folk and yourself. Applause for your hypocrisy, talking about how things have gotten better.
Talk, minister, talk.
Patting yourself on the cheek like you did something.
Bring it up.
What did you do?
Preach, minister.
Black folk had to die to go to toilet with you.
Go ahead.
Black folk had to die to drink a cup of water out of a fountain. Black folk had to die to vote for the mess that they voted into office. What did you do?
Talk, minister, talk.
What did you do? You hate my people. You smile. Your fathers were more honest.
Yes, sir. Say that.
Here's O.J. Simpson. He's innocent in a court of law for murder, but he's responsible. I really don't understand that. How could a man be innocent of murder yet responsible? And they put him on the stand and asked him, "Did you hit her?" He said, "Well, I'm responsible." He couldn't say yes. He didn't want to say yes. He knew he hit the girl. He knew he beat the girl.
Tell the truth.
But beating his wife don't mean he killed her. But I'm satisfied
Go ahead.
that no man can kill another human being and get away with it with man's law and find refuge in God.
Come on, minister.
Your fathers killed us,
Come on, minister.
and juries let let them go and called it justifiable. But God said, you gotta answer for what your fathers did.
Yes, sir.
You're not to blame, but you're responsible.
Go ahead, minister. Go ahead. Go ahead.
There's no white person in this audience that had a hand in our enslavement. They're innocent. No, this generation did not do that. But they're responsible for keeping you in the miserable condition that slavery put you in. So how are you, the sons and daughters, any better than your fathers?
Talk, minister, talk. You got to see that.
Go ahead.
Say it again, minister.
A decree of death has been sent down on America by God.
Bring it.
The same plagues that he put on Pharaoh are now inside America. The Federal Emergency Management Act, which was set up by Congress, a fund to help pay the tremendous cost of calamities. Every year they got to keep going back to Congress for more money because the calamities are happening so fast, one right behind another, that the funds are being depleted. Well, who controls that? I don't make rain. I don't make snow. And white folk don't either. You could arrest me, but why don't you arrest God for sending tornadoes and wind and storms and flood and hailstones? Why don't you arrest God for sending pestilence, and soon famine will come? You will see. The Bible says you will look at your little fat babies with the thought in mind of eating your own children. These are the days coming in the next few years on your beloved America, because God is angry with America and he's angry with you. Woe to the shepherds who feed themselves and not the flock. Should not the shepherd feed the flock?
Hey, minister, go ahead.
If a man is in sin, Ezekiel said, and you warn him not, he will surely die. But I will require his blood at your hands. But if he's in sin and you warn him, and he fails to change, then he will surely die, but you have saved your soul. I'm trying to save my soul. So I'm going to warn you. I don't care whether you like what I say or don't like what I say. If you're afraid, then get up and go on home. But death will walk home with you. Death will come in your door with you. You won't escape the wrath of God for your foolishness. The wages of sin is death. Now let's see why God sent down his decree of death on America. And then I'm out of here. You can do with it what you want. But if you play games with religion, I'm telling you, your jig is up. If you play games in politics with the lives and well-being of the people, I'm telling you, your jig is up.
Go ahead, minister, go ahead.
And if you out here gang-banging and killing your brother and sister, making mothers and grandmothers grieve as you send their grandchildren to their final resting place, I'm warning you. If you love blood that much, then God will give you a lot of your blood to drink like water, and the bloodthirsty enemy that has killed us all the days of our life He's prepared to take you down in big numbers now.
That's right.
You can take it or leave it.
Preach, minister.
I don't have no notes. I didn't come here with a prepared text. I came to stand up and see how God would use me in Selma, Alabama. And if I answer something going on in your heart and in your mind, don't give me no credit or no honor. All credit, all praise, all honor belongs to God. I'm just a servant that is here and soon will be gone. But the truth will set you free. Did you know that the wicked in the days of Noah
Listen.
had a very violent society?
Listen.
They were violent and they were wicked. And the Bible says every imagination of their hearts was continuously to do evil. So God sent Noah, told him build an ark. People laughed, people mocked. He preached 150 years and that was too short. Because the people, see, when they're playing and they're playing with God, they always want more time to continue in their foolishness. And one day when they weren't paying attention, God told them, get in the ark. Take your family and close the door. And everything in is locked in and everything out is locked out. And the people saw a cloud forming and they said, oh, it's just going to be another rainy day. Yeah. But they didn't know the cloud kept forming and kept forming. And the rain kept coming. And the Bible said they were partying. They were dancing. They were popping their fingers.
The divine destruction of America. Can she avert it? America is the greatest nation on this earth and the greatest nation in the last 6,000 years. But America and her people, which includes you, face divine destruction. The question is, can she avert it? In the Holy Quran, in the 7th surah or chapter, in the 34th verse, it reads, and every nation has a term. So when its term comes, they cannot remain behind the least while, nor can they precede it. If every nation has a term, does America have a term? And if so, what is the time? A term is a time or period to which something lasts. It is a period of time to which limits have been set. Conditions or stipulations limiting what is proposed to be granted or done. So if every nation has a time to which some limits have been set, what time is it for America? And what limits have been set? In the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter, the 18th verse, it reads, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count or calculate the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man 666. Some translations say it is the number of a man, 666. The word calculate is trying to teach us that we must ascertain the beast and the man by mathematical methods. We have to compute now what this number means. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count, calculate the number of the beast. The beast and his term has to be calculated, for the beast number is the number of a man. 666. So we're dealing with a man that has characteristics like a beast. The book of Revelations closes, or is the closing of the Bible. It talks about 4 beasts. One of those beasts more terrible than the others. And that beast was taken and utterly destroyed, and its body given to the burning flames. Now you have a beast being destroyed, and you have fire, and you have to calculate time. Now the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is a principal helper in this calculation. And most of us, as black people in America, have not understood the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, nor have we understood his value to us to get us through what's about to come down on America. Now, either Elijah Muhammad is a man from God or he is not. If he is not, then we can dismiss me and what I have to say. But I don't think that you can dismiss me. And if you cannot dismiss the student, then you certainly cannot dismiss the teacher. Now, we have these numbers: 666. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us that what we are entering into now is the judgment of the present world and its order. This world belongs to the Caucasian people. The number of the beast and the number of the man. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the beast is a man, but the number of the beast is compared to the number of the original man, which is also on the number 6. The Holy Quran and the Bible teach us that God made man on the 6th day, I think it was. The Holy Quran, well, the Bible says he made everything in 6 days. The Holy Quran says that Allah created the heavens and the earth in 6 periods of time. So 6 is the number of the originator, and 6 is the number of the beast. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that the white race is not a natural man, but a man that came through a process of birth control, through a system of grafting. You can take it or leave it. The white people are not an ancient people, they are a new people on our earth. So the first 6, which is 600, could refer to the 600 years that it took on the island of Patmos or Pelan to graft this new people out of the original. Some of the foolish among us make mockery of these teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I was being interviewed by a Harvard scholar, Dr. Henry Louis Gates, and Dr. Gates was saying how brilliant he thought the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was to craft this mythology, to get so many people to believe in this mythology.
All right, so what Minister Louis Farrakhan delivers here is not just criticism. Basically, it's moral indictment wrapped in kind of prophecy. One side, he turns directly to America, just like a prosecutor standing before history itself. His argument is simple but heavy. You cannot build a nation on centuries of injustice and expect peace to sit comfortably on top of it, And at some point, he says, or we get that at some point the foundation will speak, and when it does, it doesn't whisper, it's loud enough, it shakes. And that's what we are seeing in America today. And he's trying to point at the natural calamities being experienced in America recently, the hurricanes, the floods, the wildfires. He interprets them as not just natural disasters, but as divine signals, what he calls a sign of God's judgment upon America. And many Americans actually have basically been saying the same. So whether one agrees with this framing or not, the deeper message is hard to ignore here. A nation that refuses to actually basically confront its past or its history will basically risks being haunted by it in ways that it cannot control or even predict, And then comes the central question that he raises, almost like now a challenge thrown to the wind. Can America correct itself? Or perhaps can America look at the past, retrospect, accept or acknowledge its history without trying to distort, change, and try to correct, repair, Can it revisit its history, not to rewrite, but to repair what can still be repaired? Can it address, say, mass incarceration, particularly of Black Americans, where entire communities feel targeted rather than protected? Can it create a truly level playing field where opportunity is not filtered on the basis of race, history, or any systemic bias? Can it really do that? What Farrakhan is essentially saying is that justice delayed doesn't automatically disappear. It accumulates. And when it accumulates long enough, it demands, payment. Has America really ever thought about truly, the point of reparations, paying reparations to Black people? Does it even think about honoring the effort of Black people into building what we know as the richest country on earth, despite them being under injustice, oppression, and everything they've had to go through and still survive, But then Minister Louis Farrakhan pivots. And this is where the message becomes even more uncomfortable, because he now turns the spotlight like kind of inwards, He wants Black Americans, not about what has been done to them, but what they might allow to continue happening amongst themselves. And this is very important, actually. And many Black people have been raising this particular point. He speaks about division, about how a system that once openly oppressed all of you can subtly evolve into a system that now manipulates. Instead of chains, instead of, forceful chains, it uses confusion amongst the people. Instead of force, it fragments or it divides from within. And the danger here, as he frames it, is internal collapse. Because history shows something very consistent. No people can achieve any kind of freedom whatsoever while fighting each other or, wasting most of their time amongst their own internal conflicts rather than confronting what really binds or oppresses them all together. When unity is replaced by suspicion, when shared struggle is replaced by internal conflicts, when the pain of the past is not transformed into collective strength, then the very forces that oppress you no longer need to do so much. It becomes easy because the damage now begins to sustain itself. It's just like adding wood into an already running fire. It's easier. It's not like starting and lighting the fire. That's the warning. It's not just beware of the oppressor, but it's beware of becoming divided enough to make oppression easier. And that's powerful, almost like a surgical observation, I'd say, because unity is not automatic. It requires awareness. It requires effort. It requires to be sustained. It requires a lot of discipline. It requires a shared understanding of history and purpose. And without that, even the most justified struggle can actually lose direction. So basically, or in essence, as I had mentioned earlier, this is a double-edged message to America about accountability for its history, for its past, and to Black Americans about unity or maybe disunity, how they cannot afford it at any point, And so one speaks to power and the other basically speaks to survival. And somewhere in between those two warnings lies the real question Farrakhan leaves, hanging in the air. What if, or what happens if neither of the side listens? Because that's a possibility. That's up to us to try and answer. That's up to you to let me know what you think. Drop me a comment in the comment section below. And if you have liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you're new here, you're warmly welcome. And I'll see you in the next video.